today we've got Kurt on the podcast. Kurt's just an ordinary guy.
Very ordinary, yeah. Thanks, Sam.
No. He's an amazing person. He's a fantastic musician, and a photographer, and an amazing radio presenter.
Cool.
Yeah, we basically know each other from school, from guitar ensemble and various other things. But yeah, today he's reached out and he's offered to come onto the podcast, so taking the opportunity. And we're talking about some basically really important issues in the transgender community.
Thanks for having me on the show, Em.
Yeah.
Just quickly before we start, I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not a trans person. I don't have any experience in this kind of community very much at all. So if I say anything like politically incorrect or offending, I'm learning. Call me out on it, and we can start a discussion.
Yeah, I will definitely bash you up if
Super, thanks.
you say the wrong
I'm
things.
ready to be beaten up. Right, what are we talking about today?
So yeah, the main issue is Sam Smith coming out as non-binary. So there's been a lot of hateful comments in the media and the news and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of ignorance, and just going to talk about those things and maybe, clear up some things that people don't know about non-binary and transgender people in the community, and hopefully just bring some awareness.
Let's refine that, straight up.
Yeah.
You said that there's a lot of ignorance. Give me a couple of things that you see as ignorant. We're specifically talking about the people that have commented on all of these videos and interviews that Sam Smith has done. So what specifically are you finding that's ignorant?
The episode here with Jamila Jamil, episode 1, I Weigh interviews. I just want to bring a clip of that up with Sam Smith coming out as non-binary, and then we'll get into it.
Myself, but I recently was reading stories about people who come out as genderqueer, non-binary, and I've always had a bit of a war within my body and my mind about how
you define yourself.
Yes, because I do think like a woman sometimes in my head, and I've sometimes sat there and questioned, do I want a sex change? And it's something that I still think about, do I want to? But I don't think it is. When I saw the word non-binary, genderqueer, and I read into it, and I heard these people speaking, I was like, fuck, that is me.
Would you explain what that means to you, non-binary?
So non-binary genderqueer is that you do not identify in a gender. You are just you. You are a mixture of all different things. You're your own special creation. That's how I take it. I'm not male or female. I think I float somewhere in between. It's all on a spectrum. I think the same with sexuality. I've been with too many straight men to know that not everyone's who says they're straight are fully straight. You can sometimes like doing a bit of this here and a little bit of that there, and you fall in love with people, not genitals.
So getting back into it.
So you're talking about the ignorance that other people have that aren't trans, that see trans people and they're ignorant to your way of life?
Basically, there's a lot of hateful sort of criticism, and it comes with these two sort of sides that I see people taking on. There's either people taking on transgender people as a joke. A lot of comedians, just basically make fun of transgender people and say, well, I can be a monkey or something like that. I can be anything. And the other way that people usually go about it is very sexually perverted, and they definitely don't see non-binary and transgender people as normal. And it's really insulting, for a person. They just want to be, perceived as normal. They don't want to be, a joke, or they don't want to be some kind of, sick, twisted thing in someone's mind. And it's really hard. And yeah, it's really hard living day to day with so many people having these thoughts when they look you in the eye when you go outside, and especially if you're not passing, and you're in that, that androgynous category, and people can't really tell. And
It's
yeah, sorry.
I'm looking at some of these comments on the YouTube video, and it's kind of justifying what you're. I guess it takes it from a little bit of a different angle. Like some of these comments aren't like, of course they're ignorant, but there's a guy saying Sam Smith is just an idiot and he's just craving for attention. What do you kind of think about when people say coming out as trans is just an attention-seeking thing?
Yeah, well, definitely, I say to that being transgender has a higher death rate, like suicide rate, than the deaths caused from smoking. So it's definitely not an attention-seeking thing. Like the amount of depression that a transgender person has with having to take on the roles that they're forced in a school or a different setting, it can cause just so much depression and it's just so many suicides in the transgender community because they just can't, they don't want to live anymore, being forced into that certain role just to have food and whatever it is. And a lot of people who have had the confidence in the past, even in the Stonewall movement, like the transgender people were bashed by gays because it was too much. They just wanted to get gay people through and they wanted to get those rights through, but transgender people was just too much. Like even in our own community, we've had a hard time being accepted.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at some of these other comments and break down what people are saying, or at least trying to say. Like, let's be honest, the YouTube comments, so people are pretty vague and just outright rude without really justifying themselves. I'm trying to find one that isn't just like straight out, you're an idiot or you're a dickhead. A lot of people are saying that he's just doing it for attention, and you've like the way you've described that. It's like I had no idea that the suicide rate like the percentage of people, what is it, the percentage of people that are committing suicide is outdoing that of smoking?
Yeah, exactly. There's a higher suicide rate for being transgender than the death caused from smoking.
That's insane.
So if you're smoking, or if you're transgender, anyway. I don't know if you remember, in our school, we had a transgender kid, Travis, and no one really, at the time, our school was really not informed about what to do with that sort of stuff. And, Travis was born a female and obviously wanted to present as a male, and the school forced her at the start to wear female's clothing. Very confusing. No one was friends with him. And on holidays, literally, went back to home, went back to somewhere in Asia. I can't remember exactly where he was living, and basically, jumped off a building and killed himself. And this is an hour in school, So this is literally in a very small. It's like it is a very high suicide rate of transgender people, and it's very slowly becoming less and less, just with how much better schools are starting to deal with it. Just like our own school, it really is.
So what specifically? I had no idea that. In fact, I assumed that schools would probably be one of the last, especially private schools, would be one of like the last places to adopt this sort of thing. So what are they doing that's different to what are they doing now to integrate it?
Yeah, so basically there's some really cool teachers there that, have just some awareness of these issues. And they're trying to implement some uniforms that are just non-binary,
Okay.
They're trying to put pants for girls, and they're just trying to make it a lot more open with the uniform,
So it doesn't really look like a boy's uniform or a girl's uniform, and like,
they
do you know if
have options. So they have the girls' uniform, they have the boys' uniform, they have the non-binary. The girls can wear pants. It's open,
Okay, yeah.
That's what they're pushing for at the moment, which is really good. Yeah. And a lot of schools are also just, basically doing some education in, just talking about it and some awareness as well, which I think is really important because, I just have so much happiness that, I've seen some kids, well, not kids, but, like 18-year-olds and transgender, and they've just had it so much easier. They've just had it so much easier, and it really is slowly getting better with things
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking even for the people that don't see themselves as trans, having uniform options, there's like that small little bit of comfort and empowerment to say, I don't like, I remember the uniform in the early days of school, we had to wear like the high socks and like shorts. And I always just felt like really weird doing that and felt a bit uncomfortable. And then as soon as they said, we can wear long pants, like I didn't care that it was Townsville and it was really hot. I'm like, I feel
It
I
felt
feel better.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. So
Yeah.
it's cool that
I mean, personally,
there are like
yeah.
a few options at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like personally, my favorite is how European schools do it, where they they basically just let you do anything. You can wear whatever you want. But I mean, a lot of people have the problem with that. If you've got money or if you've got
Yeah, exactly. You get like this social class as soon as you've got free dress, which I guess I kind of see. I understand that.
But, I
That's
mean,
like that's a
to-
whole
to be-
it's a whole other argument,
To be
man.
honest, I've got fucking best style, and I get all my stuff from the op shop, So it's not like
Yeah.
you need lots of money to look good, and so I think it is, obviously I don't know. It's all personal preference, but definitely bringing in those non-binary uniforms and not having it so, because school is really where the split, the division comes, where you have to really, straight away you put into a uniform, you are a boy, you're a girl,
Yeah. Again, sorry, I just slipped up with saying a man in there. It's a habit. Trying to get out of it, but
No, that's okay. As I said,
no, that happens.
I'll beat you up later.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Is there much else that we can talk about the Sam Smith topic? Actually, there is. This is something that I found really fascinating. The Merriam-Webster dictionary in America have introduced they as a particular pronoun.
Yeah.
Like the specific definition, I've got it up here. It's used to refer to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary. So basically, you can say they instead of he or she.
Yeah, so personally, it's really, for me, like I really, don't mind if people say they. Like I don't feel comfortable presenting or like, with the female pronouns until I like fully pass. Like I know I look very masculine and I've got an idea of what I want to look like in my head. So, like they and them is, essentially a lot more comfortable for, that's the thing with being transgender. It's a very broad spectrum, like people want to get bottom surgery, people don't, people want to get big boobs, fake boobs, people don't, people want to, you know what I mean? Like, there's a big spectrum on, like, for example, Sam Smith is a perfect example where he still prefers the male pronouns, but he recognizes within himself that he's more feminine. So
I read up in his earlier life, he actually had liposuction
yeah, okay.
in his breasts because he had a large like buildup of fat or tissue, and he had breasts.
Yeah.
No, like not slight man boobies. He generally had to get liposuction because he
Yeah.
was.
And
I'm
this
imagining getting bullied heaps about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and this is definitely, what you kind of recognize when you go to a lot of trans people is their testosterone count is actually naturally quite low, because everything they're doing, their diet, their whole mindset, it's lowering that testosterone count. You know what I mean? Just because they prefer to feel in that certain way.
and that's something that I think more people need to understand, that it's not just it's not at all some sort of like thing that you decided to do. Like your chemistry is really like I'm guessing your chemistry really is tilted one way or another. It's not 100% male or 100% female.
Yeah, I mean,
is that right?
100%. I mean, like, like when we break it down to it, no one is a male or a female at the end of the day. It's like we all are just us. We all are just individuals and there is none of these male female society. None of these things actually exist. All there is a whole bunch of individuals, you know, and it's, yeah, sure, you're born with a certain type of genital, but that doesn't define you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
On a side tangent note topic that I'm thinking of, eventually there's a possibility of the, in forms and bits and pieces, the male and female topic thing changing, for an example. My brain's just going, I do marketing.
Yeah.
That's my 9 to 5 thing. And like this huge market is targeting either males or females because they respond in particular ways. So it'd be super interesting from a financial planning and budget strategy for marketing if there wasn't those two things.
Exactly.
But, like everything adapts.
And I mean, personally for me, like
fascinating, yeah.
Like, feminine marketing works, like female marketing works. Like when I see makeup and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it's something that I want to buy.
Yeah, definitely. I hate it when I'm making advertisements on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
It says, do you want to target males or females? I'm like, I don't. What about the other people like completely act differently to that?
Yeah.
I don't want Facebook to just like narrow everything down onto hardcore males or females.
And I mean, I think that's, all part of it. It's like, like we, even, like my father, he's a very tough guy, but he does face masks and stuff like that. Like, we're all on the spectrum somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, we all enjoy certain things, and it doesn't make us, transgender, or it doesn't make us a certain way. It just makes us us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah.
And yeah, it sounds like in like the region of that you're at, like I'd say, I don't know, what's it like in Townsville? You've briefly spoken about this before on your last podcast, but did you want to talk more about?
I'll talk
the
about
situation
that.
there.
So basically, I've got a lot of supportive people. I passed my driving test. Just everything in my life is a lot happier. I have also come to an awareness that it's not just Townsville. It is the whole world, with a little bit of, this Sam Smith video, a couple of other things, the Ma'am GameStop video. It's another one, Ma'am GameStop. Just horrible comments in that. Just really, really horrible. It's the whole entire world. It's not just Townsville. And I had a little moment of, just accepting that. But I am determined. I'm really determined to find a community because, like, with this driving test, if I didn't have some certain people around, it just wouldn't have happened. Like, there's just no way it would have happened.
Superb.
Yeah.
All I can say is try to get yourself to cities. I don't know what Townsville's like, but at least all my friends, all the people in the music industry, like I told everyone in my band about this podcast. I'm going to do it, and straight away they're all like, hey, that's such a good idea.
Awesome.
You should. They're interested because they don't think of anything of it really. Like, you're just another person in their eyes.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate that.
They want to promote it.
Yeah.
So there's definitely people, especially in Brisbane. You should.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm extremely excited to move. Just trying to get some money sorted together.
Yeah, it's such a big. Oh yeah, money's a whole different thing. It's such a different mindset that we've had when we were kids, and the change has just been huge. I remember, like, even when you were in when we were young, you'd call people gay because that was funny, and that's what you did. No one even thought anything about it. But
and I mean, even now as a joke, like, I still do that, and it's kind of an ironic joke. You know what I mean? But I think that's just the way we brought up with, and
but
you've got to kind of change these.
There's proof that it can be filtered out.
Exactly, and you can redefine them.
People would get roasted here if you called someone else something like that, which means I just think that you're like the trans. The trans thing will get better.
It is getting better, you know, and that's
Yeah.
what I really do want to also, you know, talk about. It's not just as depressing or everything's shit. No, things are getting a lot better. Like, you know, just a couple of years ago, I really should have done some more research on this, but basically, like, you know, there was a thing you could claim in America if you slept with a trans person and you didn't know they were trans, and just beat them to death. You could claim surprise and get away with it.
Wow. That's
And
nuts.
I'm not even kidding. Only just, you know, a couple, like, just recently that has become not a thing. And so, you know, like, things are definitely getting better. But yeah, that is a big, you know, I didn't, personally, my doctor said to me, you know, like, what you're doing with your music, going out doing, because I made so much money, you know, doing live music and stuff. What you're doing with your music's awesome. I had no idea I would be, because that's what he said, you know, there's 200 trans people in Townsville and they're all shut in their rooms and they don't want to go outside. And I had no idea that would be me, because just the opinions of people, and it just is so confronting sometimes. And I mean, yeah, I've got a really good support network. I'm going to have another trans female on the podcast next week. Juliet, she's amazing. She's really helped me out. Her confidence is just, she's so beautiful. And yeah, basically, she's, you know, constantly dressing as a female, and presenting as a female and getting a lot of comments, but is so willing to talk and so willing to engage and so willing to inform. And basically her mission is to, you know, educate North Queensland and help the transgender kids in the community. And
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's great.
There are.
Hey.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
I've actually got to wrap things up.
Yeah.
I've loved having this chat, and I wouldn't even mind doing it again.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
I've also got a friend of mine who might be interested in talking to you about this. He's not trans, he's gay, but
Yeah.
we were just talking about how some experiences might relate.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It's a conversation you could have.
100%, yeah.
Things could go somewhere.
Yeah,
so
sounds good.
I'll put you guys in contact and see where
Hey,
it goes.
I appreciate you so much for coming on the podcast, Kurt. And be sure everyone to check out his stuff, because he's amazing.
Thanks. No problem.
And we
no
might
problem,
even
man.
be collaborating with some music stuff. We'll see. I'd love
See what
to.
happens.
I always love jamming. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm always happy to
And online,
do things with other people. Yeah.
Online it's so easy.
It's possible now.
It is. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So.
All right.
Thank you so much again, and I hope everyone enjoyed. All right.
Happy to be on here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Righto.
Bye. Hello, online world. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my other videos, and if you liked it, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much.